What's going on, guys? Today's going to be a quick little video showing you guys why you should not switch to Builder Pro. I know a lot of people are hyping it up and saying that we're finally closed the skill gap against PC players and can finally build as fast as them. But I'm going to give a couple examples in this video of why you should not switch to Builder Pro because it's very overrated. One thing I will say about Builder Pro is that if you were not a very good builder before the Builder Pro patch, Builder Pro could help you out a lot. But if you were a really fast builder with standard, with Combat Pro or even standard, you'll notice that there's a couple flaws with Builder Pro, especially when you're going at maximum speed. And I'm gonna show you. Okay, so here's Builder Pro building 1x1s. And in 1x1s, the speed between Combat Pro and Builder Pro is going to be the same. I wanted to show this as an example that Builder Pro is not completely awful. It's still usable, but the changes between the differences between Builder and Combat Pro are really small. And I'm only doing this video because a lot of players who are super fast think they need to change to Builder Pro if they want to keep up, when actually that's not the case. Combat Pro is actually faster than Builder Pro in some ways and equal to it in others. I can't say the only way it's inferior to Builder Pro is platforms, and this isn't the case in where you're using Combat Pro to build pyramid ramps. So if you're using the normal stairs, then probably switching to Builder Pro will make you a faster builder. But if you're using pyramid ramps, then Combat Pro is actually faster. And I'm going to show you little examples right here. So here I place a ramp. And if I wanted to put a wall behind that ramp, I have two options. I could either double click RT or R2 if you're on PS4, or I could hold it. Now when you hold R2, the game does two actions. The first action is switching to the piece, which is the wall, and then the second action it does is placing it. And there's going to be a delay to placing the wall there because you're doing two actions with one button. In Combat Pro, RT does one action and it's place. That's all it does. So when they created Builder Pro, they made the buttons have two functions: switching and placing. And this, by default, is going to slow the speed of building. Because when you have two functions in one button, there's a delay. So there's holding it to actually place the piece, and there's tapping it once to switch to the piece. So that holding it to place the piece, there's going to be a small delay in when you place it. So it's probably done better by showing you than explaining to you. So here's a clip of me walling ramps, double stair and walling ramps in Combat Pro, and you can notice the speed. You'll probably think like this is PC, so this is super fast. This is what you could do with Combat Pro, and this is how slow it is in Builder Pro. Okay, so we could see how I can't full run and place them in Builder Pro. This is for a simple reason. It's because you have two options when double wall ramping stairs. You could either hold RT after you place two ramps, so you're holding LT, or you could double click each piece. So what you do is double click a stair, then double click another stair, then double click a wall, then double click another wall, then double click. In Combat Pro, what I do is hold RT during the entire time when I'm on the pyramid ramp. So I put two pyramid maps, so holding RT, click RB. I click one button to switch to walls, and I could still hold RT. This is not possible with Builder Pro. You have to let go of the fire button because each piece has a different fire button, and by definition that's going to slower your build speed, because if there isn't one fire button, you can't click two buttons at the same time. You have to double click them, and double clicking a button is slower than clicking two buttons in a sequence. So me clicking LT and then RT is faster than me double clicking LT. So guys, I know that was really complicated in explaining that, so I'm going to go over the entire video again. It's a very simple concept. So what Epic did is they assigned a button for each piece, and that same button is also the button to place the piece. And because they did that, I'm refusing to switch to Builder Pro because it's very simple. Having to click the same button twice or putting two actions in a button is going to just make it slower by definition. Like, this isn't a placebo feel. It's like literally in the code. Like, if to understand that if a button is going to have a first action and then a secondary action, the first action being is to switch to the piece, and the secondary action is to place the piece, rather than just having a fire button or a place button like PC players have. They just click their mouse to place something. They don't have to double click the button which they use to switch to the wall. So what Epic should have did to counteract this is they should have made RT the place button and made LT, LB, and RB, or L2, L1, and R1 the buttons that you use to switch to build piece, and then R2 or RT, depending on which console you play, is the one to place the thing. And they could have binded the pyramid to say Y, the Y or triangle on your controller, because that's not used while you're in build mode. You could use it to switch to your pickaxe, but that's kind of, you could give it a better purpose in the way I just described. So that's the only way they could fix it. Until, I don't know if Epic's going to do it, but until they do that, or if they ever do it, I recommend that if you're really fast with standard, I've seen some really fast standard builders or Combat Pro, that you stick to it, because not having a place button in Builder Pro just hurts it too hard for me to ever consider switching to it. I've tried switching to it, and I've noticed that it's slower than how fast I build in Combat Pro. And I know a lot of people are going to argue that, oh, you have to get used to it, and that I'm someone who adapts really quickly, and I knew right off the bat that this was just slower because of the having no place button piece. You have to double click the same button that switches to the piece to get to place something, which is just going to slow it. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video and learned something from it. Give me some feedback if I did anything wrong, and I'll see you guys later.